dire situation. The trap door's out. All down to them now.
Exactly. Wales have to win today. Only one advances from Group D. So if Wales lose today, they can't catch America, who would have 2 wins. Evans, Keir, Webster, Royce, Williams, White, Seamark, the halves. Kopjak, Budworth, James, Patrick, Frizzell. Watch out for Flower. He is a good player at lock forward for this Welsh side. Ben Flower played some great footy with Wigan this year in the Super League. Dudson and Evans and Lupton and Walker on their bench today. And the two teams just going through their final warm-ups here. Freed, Faremo, Tangaloa, Welch and Matt Peterson, former player in the NRL. Paulo and Priestley in the halves. Paulo, their real star, their real go-to man. Offerdale, Luani, Pettybourne, Newton, Shipway and Howard. And we'll see Samoa Hippo, Lavulo and Solowai coming off the bench for the Tomahawks. What a charming ground it is. And when we say the oldest international football stadium in the world, we mean it. Actually opened in 1807.
I wasn't here for that one, Bossy.
Oh, but maybe you were here when they first played football here in 1864, and then the first international in 1877. So there is some history, isn't there? And this ground, it's only 3/4 open. They have the Kop end. You're seeing the full stands at the moment, but the town end is the Kop end, and the terrace, well, it's been condemned for years. The locals are telling me it's been about a decade that nothing's been done. I was thinking of passing around the hat. Let's get this moving. So if that was open, the ground can hold around about 15,000 fans. And today, I guess we've got around the 8,000 mark. It will be Wales to kick off, running from left to right on your screens, with Ben Cummins in charge as referee, video referee, who you'll hear as part of the coverage, Phil Bentham. Here we go, live in the United Kingdom across Premier Sports, on 7 Mate in Australia, Sky Sports New Zealand, and wherever you're watching, as we are into the second week of the Rugby League World Cup, and this is the American side in their first ever World Cup appearance. They were actually invited to play in the very first World Cup in 1954. One little thing, they didn't actually have any registered players, but they didn't front up, but there was an invitation for them. As the ball taken forward by Offerdale, who was one of the stars against the Cook Islands. They had many of them, in fact.
I thought there's another one that just carried the ball. I thought Pettybourne was outstanding, Bossy.
Yeah, he will be off to Wigan next year. Ball now with Ben Flower. Experience at the top level in the Super League. Last tackle the Americans have got through the first set. Joseph Paulo is going to be the first to kick from 5 metres inside his own half. I can tell you some of the line markings here are a touch dodgy as Evans coming back.
Elliot Keir was pretty impressive last time out for the Welsh, even in a beaten side against the Italians. Really showed his worth, and will need to today. Frizzell
can play from the St George Illawarra Club in Sydney and NRL. The tackle count restarting, the ruling of Ben Cummins there. In fact, now we've got a little mix-up with the players. I don't think they quite knew what was going on. Ended up in the hands of the Americans. But Cummins had already said that Wales were to have it back, and they will get the scrum feed just short of halfway. Yeah, the line marking here at the Wrexham ground, I'm sure we're not 100 metres long, because we've got a distinct 10 metres either side of halfway. But then between the 40 and the 20, I'm not so sure. I reckon we've probably got about 16 metres. It's not quite what you would think, but I think outside of that, we've got it about right. So Wales with possession. They need to start well. They got their noses in front against Italy after half-time in Cardiff, but couldn't finish off the game. They were well beaten in the end. Loose ball, and the Americans come up with it.
Well, Wales can't do that, Vossi. They can't give free possession in this part of the field to this team because they're too good. They'll exploit that, the USA, and so Wales have to tighten up what they're doing a little bit at the moment and get down the other end of the field.
Another run for Offerdale gets the Americans 35 metres out from the line. Priestley sends it off to Newton. Priestley, the man in the headgear, one of the real stars when he scored the match-sealing try against the Cook Islands. A moment that will be long remembered if they're to continue their progress in the world of rugby league. Now 15 metres out. Scooped up by Luani. And upended by the defence. Big tackle, Jordan James there. 9 metres away from the line. Last tackle it is for the Americans. Paulo thought about kicking. Brings Freed into the line, the fullback. And hopping onto his back there was Lloyd White, and that will be the changeover. Well, I'm sure Paulo knew it was the last tackle, but I don't know whether the men outside of him knew that.
I'm not sure he did. I think they all thought they'd probably got another player there, Bossy, but they held the line well there, the Welsh, and it's a good test early on for them to come up to speed.
Now the ball with Flower, Cardiff-born, plenty of Welsh-born players in this Wales side. And Kopczak just getting it along, and Frizzell on the edge, and he is 25 metres away from his own goal line. Dummy half duties with Neil Budworth, one of the oldest players in the Welsh side. And half through the gap, Christian Reutz, the South African-born centre in this Wales side, kicked downfield by Matty Seamark. Well cut off at the back, and back will come Freed. He's not tall, the fullback, but he's got some moves.
Bit of a will-o'-the-wisp, isn't he? He looks quick, good feet.
Finds himself at the Connecticut Wildcats these days. Freed, but a Sunshine Coast junior out of Queensland in Australia. And now Matt Peterson, first played for the States back in 2004. So he can count himself as a bit of a pioneer. Matt Shipway now with it.
Does he class as a veteran as well? He'd be up there
Well,
in numbers,
he does,
wouldn't he?
yeah, across his experience. He had a time with Wakefield here in England, and stints in Australia with North Queensland and Parramatta and the Gold Coast. Sideshow Bob, affectionately known out of the NRL, as Paulo bombs high from 40 metres away from the Wales line. It's a big one. Didn't exactly go too far downfield, and on the loose ball is Lloyd White. So a little scrappy to begin with.
Yeah, they've been a bit scruffy with the finishes of their sets, haven't they, the USA? They'll need to improve on that. Paulo needs to get a grip of the team. As for the Welsh, they've got to keep the ball away because they've only had 4 days to recover, the USA, and that could take its toll towards the back end of the game.
Well, they play their entire campaign in the space of 9 days, the Americans, so they've been dealt the hardest of draws, as now the ball across with Evans, almost slicing through Rhys Evans. Dual registration here in England. Oh, put a hand out there, Ian Webster. He'd love to play that again and just keep the mid out of it. So error from Wales, and not quite happening for them early.
Well, they look like they want to play football with a little of decent shape here. Lloyd White trying to release Webster down the short side, and execution of skill not great there, Bossy. And I'm just thinking early in this game, I'm already worried. I'm thinking kick the ball down there. You know, let's use the juice in this big American pack.
I can also tell you, having walked the ground, fairly slippery surface here at Wrexham, and that morning rain didn't help. Some very heavy showers, and when you combine a pretty stiff breeze and single-figure temperature, it was most unpleasant. But not the story this afternoon. And now put down straight away there by Taylor Welch. So Wales will get a scrum feed, and I think both teams need to go back to the dressing room and come back out again. We'll do the anthems and we'll get the show on the road again.
Unscrew their hands and put the catching ones on.
6 minutes gone, no score, Wales and the United States, but it is a sudden death game. There is pressure involved.
It's interestingly watching Mark Seamark there telling everybody, calm down, be urgent, but be good with your skill.
And here's Seamark just turning that inside for Reutz. This is his home ground. He plays for the North Wales Crusaders, so a nice moment for him. Now Kopczak, he will lead them not only as captain, but he'll do that with his actions on the field.
He's a good player, Bossy.
39 metres away from the line, and across with White, looking to deliver a short pass. They've got their best field position of the match now, Wales, and in fact will get a penalty as well. Pettybourne got a little hungry there and decided to hang around in the tackle a little too long. And if they want, they could take the shot, but that's not the mindset at the moment. Let's go for line, let's keep on the attack. So the Welsh from 20 metres out from the American line, and White again dumps it off. Big charge, Jordan James, ripping into Shipway, and Pettybourne right there. 11 away from the line. This is better. White, beautiful ball. Webster almost backs his way over the line. The Americans just hang on. And Budworth away, and flat-footed was Patrick. Patrick twisted in the tackle. Good enough by the Americans to stop the ball being offloaded. White is doing all the playmaking at the moment. Seamark on to Frizzell. He's only 5 from the line. Good tackle low down by Priestley. Newton was over the top, and this time Evans. 4 American defenders there to stop him.
One more for the USA. Great D.
8th minute of play, last tackle Wales. Seamark's kick, looking for the winger. That's been knocked down. Keir knocked it back, and it is not going to be play on. America will come up with it, and a pat on the back for the Tomahawks there.
Yeah, without a doubt. They've had a crack at each other's line now, and both held up to the task, so everybody's up for this one.
A lot better play there defensively from America and in attack from Wales. And we start all over again, and the crowd getting their voice up, providing the atmosphere at the Wrexham ground. Oh, big shot! Brazil's come from left field to deliver the hat on the tackle on Shipway, and he's lost the ball. In fact, they're going to say penalty.
Well, for hitting him too hard. They said he's got a second effort on him.
Oh, well, he's allowed to, surely.
Of course he is.
Tyson Frizell, that's a good one. That's certainly up in the top 10 hits, and we've seen plenty first week of the Rugby League World Cup. So they mean business, they're serious, and there's a lot at stake. But with that touch finder, America go inside the Wales half. And back underway for Tangaloa. 40 away from the Wales line. They wanted to quick play the ball. It didn't come. Luani with it. Pettiborn's ready to rock and roll into the defence again. Now 25 metres away from the Wales line. 9 minutes gone. Still waiting for that first score. Luani and on. And Offerdale and the likes of Pettiborn and Newton, they're doing their best to set it up here for the Americans. Now Joseph Paulo to weave his magic. Put down there by Tangaloa. And Wales, no advantage to them. They will have the scrum feed.
Joseph Paulo on Tuesday night, Vossi, was outstanding. He practically won the game single. He had a lot of supporting cast, but he was outstanding. And Wales need to put him under pressure, but he put himself under the pressure there. He needed a better delivery of that ball. But I'm just going back to the Tyson Frizell here. Watch out. It's like watching a Thor film.
Joseph Paulo, skillful player, and has the captaincy as well. Qualifies for America by his American Samoan heritage. So Wales in possession, and Rhys Williams is coming off the left wing to take a run. One of their more prolific try scorers. Ooh. Nice bounce away there for Flower. He's just a goer, Ben Flower. If you don't know him in other parts of the world watching, he's a real wholehearted player. Now Frizzle almost back to the 30-metre line, or the 27, or the 26, whatever it is there. Dodgy markings, ball away for Reutz. Every run he's done so far has been solid. Close to halfway now. Wales are looking a lot better over the last 4 or 5 minutes. Ooh. That time Pettiborn went looking for a big one. Didn't quite get it. It may have still stung the lock forward Flower a little. Kick on the last by White is a big strike, that one. And I'll say something about these in goals too, that I hope the playmakers are aware, certainly from the Americans, but there's a big runoff on them. So the little dribble into the in goal, it just runs and runs and runs, gets away. They're only short anyway, but they're all downhill.
They're only 6 metres, Vossi. So it's short and it's a downhill struggle. So the touch on your kick, you're really looking at maybe 2 or 3 metres before the line.
Coming to you from Wrexham in Wales, and this is Peterson for the Tomahawks. They have played, or the Americans played, not a lot of the players that we're seeing here today, but they play in the Colonial Cup against Canada. A 4-match series. They won that this year 3-1, and then they warmed up for the World Cup with a win over France and Toulouse, and that was big. That got their confidence up, and they took that into game 1 against the Cook Islands. Nice offload, Peterson, and they're threatening the Tomahawks. 29 metres away from the Wales line on the last tackle, and Priestley is going to kick high. It's good height on the kick. It's right out to the wing, and then at the last moment, Rhys Williams said, I'm going to put my hands away from this.
He did all right, actually, I think, Vossi. I think he's thinking, I'm going to take the risk. There's nobody too close to me. I'm not going to toy with the sidelines. Clearly thinks he took a bigger risk than I would.
Yeah, well, he's had a bit of luck on his side. Rhys Williams, I mentioned, he is in fact the leading try scorer in Welsh International Rugby League. So he would love to get a bag full today and add to that. Yeston Harris, coach in the stands. It's a big moment. You wouldn't want, when they've got more matches to come, where we'll be off to the Knoll in Neath next weekend, next Sunday in fact, and then if all goes well for Wales, they want to be here for the quarterfinals against Australia. But that, as we said earlier, goes out the window if they lose today. Now, Keir will play it short of the 20-metre line. Got the feeling this match is about to open up. We've gotten through a scrappy phase to open, but Wales are starting to warm up. The US last set was good. Now Wales with Evans into the line. He may be the player who provides around the back of Keir. And so they lose a bit of an edge on that play.
It's just that element of untidiness. Both teams really, not just the Welsh, but the final pass there went missing, and they created an opportunity on the fringe, and they really need to take those opportunities when they create space.
And they'll have to kick their way out of trouble. In fact, from just outside the 20, he doesn't like it. The 5'8", Lloyd White. He knew at the moment he struck it, and he's got the hand on the head. It's a bad blunder by Wales and their number 6 and the Tomahawks to start a set just outside the 20.
Well, they've compounded the error from Williams out the back with the poor pass, and then he's leathered the ball into touch as Lloyd White. Yeah, he knows it's a mistake, but he shouldn't give the USA this kind of field position.
Righto, here come the Americans, and Pettybourne doesn't need much of an invitation to run. He's 15 metres away from the line. Luani goes up left side. Paulo pumps it on for Freed. Now out for Peterson. No room to move there. And Peterson, well, he's probably got a hair on the sideline, but that doesn't count. And is able to stay in the field of play. Now Tangaloa, well tackled there by Lan Patrick. 5 from the line. Peterson, Paulo, nice dummy there. And it's Offerdale on the angle, but again the Welsh defence good. Low tackle affected by Lan Patrick. Paulo out to Priestley. Cut out ball, there's a chance in the corner. If Welsh delivers the pass to Faremo, they had the first 4-pointer.
Yeah, Welsh bombs this. He was in the corner. He has to find his hands, find out where he is. Well, there's a few players here, Vossi, that need to readjust their radars. Get out there, get the technical blokes out, adjust their hands, adjust their eyes. There's just too many errors.
Would have been a try, as it was the first try the Americans scored against the Cook Islands was Beretta Faremo, but not this time. Been trying to confirm this afternoon if Air Force One has made its way into Wales today. Wrexham don't have an airstrip, do they? But I'm told Liverpool might be the closest airport, that maybe the main man has made his way across. Maybe if they make the quarters, that'll be the case. 10 metres away from the line.
Well, if not him, they'll send Kevin Costner on one of them big stars.
Somewhere down the pecking order. Tackle counts are even.
Morgan Freeman, maybe.
It'd be great if he did the ground announcing. How good would that be? Morgan Freeman is the ground announcer. Yes, let's get that on. You're an ideas man, Brian. As Frizzell is inside.
Frizzell and Royce down that left-hand side for Wales have been really impressive.
Oh, nice run. Go! Budworth away. This is the chance. They're lining up inside. Big Kopchak was inside. He said, I'm not giving it to you. Christian Reitz has scored the try for Wales. He was looking at his captain. He had 3 looks but said, no, I'll run it myself. Wales 4, USA 0.
What a great score from the Welsh. Christian Reitz involved twice. He makes the initial play. He's down the sideline. It's Williams. He's got Reitz on his inside. He's got his skipper. Reitz goes on his outside to give him the option. Great decision from Williams, you have to say.
Yeah, Rhys Williams there. We talked about his try-scoring prowess, but that time he's been the provider. And Christian Reitz, who has started the game very strongly, some really good charges, now gets a try. And Wales, that is what they needed, 16.5 in, and you just got the feeling one try may lead to a second pretty quickly.
Well, if I'm the Welsh coach, I'm thinking, Vossi, I'll stick on that left-hand side of the Welsh. Royce is causing problems, Frizzell causing, Williams causing problems. Kopchak at the middle, he's not even supposed to be there, and he's pushing up the middle on breaks.
And now it'll be over to Lloyd White, another one of the Cardiff-born players in this Wales side. Plays for Widnes these days, 20 games this season. And his first kick to come from the 20-metre line, about 3 metres in from touch. By the record books, Wales' biggest ever win was over America back in 1995. They beat the USA 92-4. And they're getting a rousing reception as the players get back their side of halfway. But White's kick, pretty good strike first up, but just to the left-hand side of the upright, so 4-0 is the lead. Rugby League World Cup in Wrexham, 17 minutes in. And these two sides out of Group D, where only one team makes it through to the final 8.
That was a great ball. Williams was real well here. Royce is coming around the outside. Freedom, no chance.
So over to the Americans. They did actually concede the first try in their match against the Cook Islands and were pretty swift with their reply. So playback underway with Paulo.
Just makes that pass from Welsh, you know, the set before, wasn't it? A little bit more important now. It could have been 6-0 up, now they're 4-0.
Absolutely. Kopjak takes the first run back. He's been great for them. Followed up by Lane Patrick. Another good run. Here they go. And the fans know it here at Wrexham. They're getting behind their team. Taking off is Budworth. 3 tackles and 5 metres short of halfway. Now they've got a bit of depth about their attack if they want to spread it. And the Americans just hanging on at the moment. As Kopjak takes another run. Bumping his way forward. Able to hang on there. Pettybourne for the Americans, last tackle. And it's back for White. A bomb from 45 metres out. A little bit of breeze up there. Nice catch by Christian Freed. But a chase spot on from Wales.
Looking all right, the boy Freed, didn't he? Snapped that up easy enough. And the Welsh really organised here now and trying to restrict the territory. Front loading their energy a little bit so they can restrict the territory of this USA team coming out.
Well, you've got to say the men in red, they're out of second gear now, aren't they? Because it was a stuttering performance early, and now they've got into it. Defence and attack as they go hunting up there on Pettybourne. It was Jordan James getting in there. He's getting close to being the most capped player in the history of Welsh Rugby League. Great ball, Paulo. Beautiful stuff. And away they go. And Welch had open pasture there for America. Last tackle it is for the Tomahawks. Paulo's got a chance to run. He decides to kick. Peterson is charging through. Here comes Sideshow Bob. Doesn't get close to it. Great take. Elliot Keir.
There's a penalty here, Bossy. Something's gone on.
Well, they're saying one of the Americans have been held back here. In fact, it's Peterson taken out by Ian Webster.
Coat hanged.
Well, in some way, I'm going to say that's quite beautiful. I mean, you know, from old school.
That's called peripheral vision under half.
That's it. There's an old saying, they can't run without their eyes, and I think that was coined by Steve Roach, the former Australian front rower. And I think that Ian Webster decided to subscribe to that theory there. Got him right across the face. Here is Pettybourne. Just 3 metres away from the line.
Somebody should remind him it's an era of cameras.
Now Luani, he doesn't mind having a little dash himself from dummy half. Don't be surprised if that happens. Paulo pass for Newton. Clint Newton goes over for the Tomahawks. I reckon they've gone off at the White House. It's 4-all. 20 minutes gone.
How many times has he done this, Clint Newton, in his career? How many times has he picked one out of 2-at-1, 2 American players running at the 1 Welsh defender? Here he goes. Great ball from Paulo, and Royce can't come up with a defensive play. He's done that everywhere he's been. The NRL, Super League, stop me if you can, catch me if you can. It's a field goal, catch me if you can. At least playing a film, stop me if you can. Great score. Nice ball, Joseph Paulo. It's so important to this team.
And really proving one of the stars of the World Cup early on. And Clint Newton, 32 years of age, born in South Carolina, where his famous golf pro dad Jack was on tour. So he qualifies by birth. And I've got to say, I interviewed Clint Newton weeks out from the tournament starting. He was absolutely dead set serious about and felt the responsibility of the job he had here. He does see himself as a pioneer in World Cup Rugby League. He's hoping they do have a prolonged history, that this is the first of many World Cups. He knows he won't be around, but he wants to play his part. And Joseph Paulo to put the Tomahawks in front. And Paulo, not good. Not good at all.
I've got a bit of a theme for you, Bossy. Some of the games we've seen have been won and lost on the back of goal kicking. So I'm thinking this may go the same way as well.
Yeah, Paulo, he doesn't exactly sprint back after that one. He's a bit filthy on that. He's got all the responsibility here. Captain, playmaker, goal kicker, kicker in general play.
He drives the coach as well.
Well, there's been some great drive the bus. Wally Lewis used to do that in Australia for the Queensland team. He drove the bus. Here's Pettybourne for the Tomahawks. 10 metres away from their own line. So we've got a 4-all scoreline. We haven't learned a great deal. 22 minutes into the match. We knew it was going to be close. We favoured Wales because they have so much to play for, but not a great deal of difference between the sides early. And now 20 away from their own line, the Tomahawks. But the try did come after a sustained period of good play for Wales, so disappointing for them to concede. Shipway is the man with the ball.
Well, offensively and with the ball on the left-hand side, Wales look really strong, don't they? But you have to say that the right-hand side of America, most of their breaks, the 3 breaks we've seen so far today, have come down that right-hand side. So both teams wanting to run the ball down that way.
Joseph Paulo kicking, and again, once we get to the back end later the match, we're going to find out the effect of the 4-day turnaround for the Americans as well. Mightn't see it at the moment, but if it's tight going into the last quarter, you've got to think that the Wales team will have the fresher legs. They've had the full week to prepare.
And that's when the bench becomes important as well, boss. If you can get some lift off your bench players and get some energy out of them, it just might tell on the USA team.
Brazil with another run. He's all elbows and hips and knees when he runs. He's not an easy man to hold. As White comes off Seamark, and now White trying to step his way through. Past Pettybourne.
He's struggling a bit here, Pettybourne. He's been hard to get to the breakdown. He's missing a couple of tackles, and Coach Madison, I might be thinking about replacing him. He's got his hands on his knees there.
Some movement on the Welsh bench as well. They're about to make a change, but it's going to be the Tomahawks under pressure here. In fact, Wales will get Jordan James off the field, so they'll have a fresh forward coming on, and Wales with a restart 11 metres away from the line. So here they go. Budworth with a free kick. White just steadies it up for Kopchak. He is only 5 metres away from the line. The Wales captain looking to regain the lead here at Wrexham. And they switch to the right side out in front of White. And then they come to a complete stop. I think Matt Peterson was calling for obstruction play. But I think White did the right thing to put the brakes on. Now inside the fresh man is Gil Dudson. Another Cardiff-born player in the Wales side.
He's a big unit as well.
He is 5 metres away from the line. Seamark, good ball. Evans for Reutz. Reutz has put it down and can't pick it up for Ramo. And it will be a first knock on against Wales. A little frustrating. A shake of the head by my co-commentator Brian Noble.
It's just the nervousness of the game, and the fact that Welsh are in the trapdoor. I just think it's bringing an element of nervousness about their execution.
Just while we're here, it's been great mixing with local fans across today. I went to the Plus Cock, which is the nearest pub to the ground, the Plus Cock.
Well, I didn't do a run of the pubs trying to drag you out there. I knew you'd be having a pot or something.
I had a steak, but meeting all the locals, and a shout out to the Saddleworth Rangers under 16 side playing in the Oldham Cup. They've got the final coming up. Good young fellas, good competition up in Oldham. So you've got a World Cup shout out to you. 15, you're special, that's why. And the Americans with the ball over the 20. But I met some Wigan fans and fans that have driven across from other parts of the north of England to see today's game. Traditional Welsh people that have moved away. Lovely city of Chester, just the other side of the border here. Absolutely beautiful. Newton passes and away they go with Ferramo down that right side. A bit of an up and down day so far. The Americans right on halfway. Newton to first receiver. And this part of the game is pretty good. Just getting the ball up the field is good, but without Joseph Paulo, I don't know whether there's too much creative play, as Evans is underneath it. And the chase through, well, he lined him up, but he sort of let him off the hook, Daniel Howard. I thought he was going to get the real big shot on.
Well, either get a shot on or go for the ball. That's because he got there. He did the big stuff, he did the hard stuff, he got there.
And then slowed down to time his run. Another one here for Gil Dudson, and it's come loose again. Wales, it's scrappy. Dudson would be the biggest forward out there.
Oh, he's definitely a truck. He's definitely a diesel truck, and he should use his engine to roll this team forward. He was looking for an offload there, and he can scatter the pigeons. That's what he needs to do.
All righty. Scatter the pigeons is the call as White kicks downfield after a good run by Budworth. And Freed is back there, and there's the bounce on the slope. It ain't going to come back from there. In fact, if you're hitting golf balls out there, it's a tough little uphill lie from the in-goal area.
It's all about the touch, Vossi.
So the Americans back with it. A 4-all scoreline here. Opening try of the day to Christian Reutz for Wales, and the reply came from Clint Newton, but neither goal kicker able to convert those tries. That's why we've got the 4-all scoreline in a group that will see only one team advance to the quarters. At the moment, America with their win over the Cook Islands in the box seat. And across it goes. I know it can be a little hard to understand because Group C and D, they cross over. But in Group D, Cook Islands, America and Wales, only one of those three will make it through to the quarters. Joseph Paulo looking to throw the cutout ball, delivers it to Tangaloa. Tangaloa, that was forward to Peterson. Oh, and then Peterson's decided to throw it while lying on his back. That's probably not the position of strength to be throwing the ball at an opponent. And now Tangaloa wants to get it on. Well, hang on, this isn't over here. Ben Cummins is a brave man, getting right in the centre of it. Got a bit fired up there. Loto Tangaloa.
Peterson just takes objection to Lloyd White putting him on his backside when the player's been called forward. So Peterson throws the ball at him, then there's a bit of to me to you shove and push, and then I think Ben Flower comes in and Tangaloa, and then those two big units to chat with each other.
That's just a bit of argy-bargy there. Nothing much at all about that. So Wales will have a scrum feed on the 40-metre line, their end of the field. Worked by White onto Seamark. Seamark yet to really have an impact in the game. It's been more Lloyd White. Wales get something to work off here, but it's been lost by Reutz.
Got a penalty.
But a penalty out of it. So our home fans will now get excited as Wales ring the changes. They've made 2 changes there on that restarted play. And now you're going to see Peter Lupton as their dummy half. Let's see if he can spark this side. Lupton it is for Seamark. To centre field, and another one of the bench players, Anthony Walker, the big 21-year-old up in the front row of this Welsh side. Frizzle down the left side, just 10 metres away from the line. At 4-all, 29 minutes into the contest, and Walker gets another touch. It took a good tackle there from Hefo for the Americans. Quick play the ball, big opportunity if they go right. And Dodson decided to have a dash himself. Still on for Wales in this right-hand side. White to Evans. Great ball, Evans to Webster. Knocked down the Americans with it, and Peterson. But they have saved a try, the Tomahawks.
Ooh. Peterson needed to knock that down. I'm not too sure he knew what he was doing. I don't think it was a deliberate knock. Was it a deliberate? Let's have a look. Was it a deliberate knockdown? Yeah, of course it was. Giving him the benefit of the doubt here, but he's definitely played at the ball because it was 2-on-1 and they were goners.
Yeah, Keir would have been over in the corner. Grandstand we're calling from here at the ground was lottery funded. It's been the newest addition to the ground at Wrexham. As I mentioned, from a rugby league perspective, the North Wales Crusaders. Clive Griffiths, the coach, is he not here? He is, Clive Griffiths.
Yes, he is, yeah.
And they had their win in the Championship 1, which is behind the Super League and the Championship. Sheffield champions in the Championship, and as you know, Wigan winning the grand final after Huddersfield had been first across the line in the regulation rounds in Super League. And just a player was receiving treatment wide out. That held the scrum up, so it's still an opportunity though for Wales. Seamark, and Frizzle is outside of the scrum, running it Priestley. The little fella does well to hang on, but this is Wales' chance to move in front here. Lupton started them going right. White's got another touch. And the Americans all hands on deck. Ball came out the back for Patrick. Trying to hang on to the tackle is Shipway. And still it's alive for Wales. White now. 10 from the line. Surely he has to go to ground this time. So crowd a little quiet there. They're not sure what to know and what to expect of their home side at the moment. Just can't quite get on a roll. Seamark inside. Big Gil Dodson. Just 5 from the line. American defence holds firm. Seamark got that ball for Flower. And he's called it forward as well, referee Cummins. So again, they slip into a bit of a lull the Wales side.
Well, we've talked about the desperation for this Welsh team today, Bossy, but you have to say the way the Americans are bending their backs there, this means a lot to them. They see the qualification.
Well, they want to be here for longer than 9 days. That's the thing. When you've got your 3 matches in 9 days, they want to be here and have a full preparation going into the quarterfinals. But for Wales, it's almost as if, look, if you coach Essen Harris, you keep them out there at half-time. You have a little training drill at half-time just to keep them warmed up. Either that or you take them over to the plus cock and give them a Guinness or something. Just try another method. That'd be interesting, wouldn't it? Take the whole 17 players over the pub at half-time.
I think the sports scientists have scratched their heads on that one. Penalty now for. It's got a little bit flat in the crowd, hasn't it? They need to juice up and get the red boys going.
And now a USA chant goes up in Wrexham. Didn't last long. I thought that counts. So Americans with that kick for line, and they'll start this set just inside their own half. We're 8 minutes away from half-time, and Tangaloa it is. He became an easy target as he ran across field there. And could have been penalised just about, Patrick. He was pushing the envelope a little there, lying on in the tackle. Howard with the ball. In fact, Offerdale it is, tackled low down, and again 2 come over the top, so no offloading there for the Tomahawks. But they've got a little bit of field position here, and Paulo is able to try and create something there on the outside for Shipway. Now they're only 29 metres away from the Welsh line at 4-all. Tui Samoa out there at dummy half. The Redcliffe fans in Queensland know him well. Out for Newton. Redcliffe, one of the powerhouses in the Intrust Super Cup, didn't have the best of years in that particular competition, but they've been a great club over a long time. Here is Priestley. Here is Paulo. Paulo decides to go short this time. Offerdale almost got away from the tackle of Lan Patrick, who must be close to the top of the tackle count. Paulo again. Great ball. Peterson scores in the corner. A salute for Sideshow Bob. The Americans have their second try.
How important is Paulo to this team? He turns to the right parts of the field, and his pass selection here is terrific. Priestley to Paulo, and sees Peterson with a little bit of space on the outside. He's thrilled to get it over the line there, and you have to say they deserve the score.
I really like the way Priestley got the dummy half too. He got there quickly, knew that Paulo wanted to call the shots, and that is just a beautiful ball. I mean, a Jonathan Thurston would be happy that, or a Tompkins chiming in the back line for England would be happy for that, or Kieran Foran or Johnson, the players from the heavyweights. Great play, Joseph Paulo, and Matt Peterson has the try.
If you're picking a pivot for the tournament at the moment, he'd have to be up there.
Certainly for involvement, try assists. He is the whole box and dice, the man on screen. He's always had the ability. He's 25 years of age now. He's in that time only tallied up 78 NRL games, and 24 of them came this year with the hapless Parramatta side of the NRL, the Wooden Spoon. But I think I'm right in saying at 24, he only started 8 of the games. He's not a starter week in, week out. He's part of the 17. So he's got another kick, and Brian Noble believes this could be the deciding factor today. First one, he hooked. Second one, well, it's just the push right. Yeah, he needs to go up to the driving range there. It had nothing really to kick, it was just the push. It's well worth watching the replay again of the try.
Goes on the line real well, and he tracks Webster out of the line and gives Peterson a free run in.
So Wales are behind here in a must-win game, and they need significant improvement if they are to advance past today. 8 points to 4. There have been 3 tries scored and no conversions. The Americans have their tails up. Samoa there after the run of Hifo. He's been good since coming on, Roman Hifo. Now Brian's already mentioned how important the bench is today, with a backup from match to match. Short for the Americans. The 4 and a bit minutes until half-time, and the Tomahawks get a penalty. Gil Dudson pointed out there by referee Cummins, and also Peter Lupton. Wow. If the Americans score another try coming up to half-time, this is going to be a silent Wrexham ground. Maybe it'll be all the crowd that goes off to that pub.
They'll need the Guinness
for a drink at half-time, and maybe a slice of apple and plum pie, which was very nice, thank you. And Lavulo, 30 metres away from the Wales line. Tui Samoa, a real live wire when he gets his chance. If he detects that this Wales side are on their heels, Samoa will take off. He's really quick. 22 metres away from the line. Nice switch. Priestley, Paulo, wide again. Tangaloa sighted an opening, and White was there to close it up with Webster. 10 away from the line. Good play. Quick play. Paulo has a crack himself. Wales under pressure. Evans, Ben Evans able to hang on there in the tackle. Right side, oh, it's been put down. The right side defence. I thought for a moment we're going to be penalised for coming off their line too quick. But not the way referee Cummins saw it. Now he's got the Americans infringing. And Wales survived that burst from the Tomahawks.
Well, that's a let-off for the Welsh because they were creaking. Every which way they looked at their line, they were creaking and making decisions on their own. And that's penalty just what they need. They need to get back down to this end of the field, the Welsh, and do what they can do. When they get their structure and their shape, they look all right. They just haven't executed as well as they should yet. And another decision I'm not too sure of this part of the field from Walker.
See, again, ball hitting the deck off Walker. I mean, we don't show that number of passes that have hit the ground, but I don't think it'd make good reading for the Wales coach, Iestyn Harris. Bump there on Dudson, and then offloaded by Frizzell. Little opportunity to advance the footy out on that left side. And Rhys Williams in the play. So they're inside the Tomahawks half. Nice line set. Evans, and up came Tangaloa. Evans away from him. Kept it going for White. Now puts the kick in. The chase being led by Keir, but Frieder's back there as off the top of the head play.
It was a nothing kick, Mossy. He's kicked it, and I can see his idea, but you've got to execute those kind of kicks. And he was trying to get Keir down the sideline, but you might as well have just handed it straight over to the fullback.
Oh, Tangaloa's pass. There you go. So mistakes from both teams. Balls not finding hands. And the Americans, Faramo has come in off the wing. So they have possession inside their own half. And Howard along to Newton. He plays that right edge and was rewarded with the first American try today. Last tackle here for the Tomahawks. Priestley will kick. Got a 40-20 the other night against the Cook Islands.
Did you see his catch when he took off the score?
Yeah, oh, that was great. Off ball. That was a great moment. A great moment for the Cup.
He was Superman in that moment.
And a super moment. And the ball with Ben Evans, and now away for Ian Webster. But Tangaloa, he's aggressive, the centre, the left centre for the Tomahawks. Got a bit of mongrel in his game, I think. Here's White, and with it is Dudson. Not offloading there, 40 away from the Tomahawks line. And now Seamark, that's what we like to see. Turned it inside for Patrick. He knew the play was on. Just outside the 20. Seamark wants another go. He'll get the kick to the corner, but too long again. And Wales do not come up with a repeat set. They can't get Freed to the in goal.
I've been impressed with Freed. He's cleaned everything up. He's got good feet, footwork. He may be small in stature, but he's playing pretty big.
So it's on again for the Tomahawks, and we're inside the final minute of the first half. The United States leading Wales 8 points to 4. This is the side that won their opening match against the Cook Islands 32-20, and this is a chance with the error close to half-time for Wales to come up with a play.
Well, Samoa came up with a play that you've been wanting him to, Bossy. He took off, but he forgot to take the ball with him.
There's been a little committee meeting amongst the Wales players as this scrum forms. The right winger, Elliot Keir, came right across. They're setting for something here on the open side. Evans wants it. They're bringing Royts over to the open side as well. Let's see what they produce. Seamark to Royts. He takes the first one. Final 20 seconds of the first half. This will make them happy at half-time, the Welsh fans, if they can score. Webster got away from Tangaloa. He's now inside the 20. Big 10 seconds coming up. Maybe just the one play. With White from 20 metres out. Seamark, hit and spin. Can't not keep it alive. Now he does, but there's pressure on White, and that will take us to half-time. It's been a disjointed performance from the hosts. It's been disjointed from the Americans as well, to be honest. But they are the team in front by 4. As tempers flare a little right on half-time in this Group D match at the Rugby League World Cup. We're coming to you from the racecourse ground at Wrexham, and it is the United States of America 8 leading Wales 4.